Good morning and welcome to Wednesday, my friends. Whew. So crazy in the last 24 hours. I've got like 2 feet of snow on my back and in my front. Actually, it's all over. Welcome to spring. So I hope that you've had a bit of a better 24 hours than I have because the snow was a bit much for the springtime. Now, today, I want to explore and embrace the Taurus energy. We're transitioning from Aries into Taurus. So, of course, like always, I want to wish all my friends who are born in the next 4 weeks a happy birthday. And for my friends who have birthdays in other weeks and times, I encourage you to check your astrological birth chart. There's lots of free sites out there that can get you your birth chart. I don't have a precedent or a favorite one. There's lots of them. All you need is your birthday, obviously the day, where, and time of your birth. And then you can get your birth chart. Because even though you're not born in the next 4 weeks, Taurus may have a significant impact on you because it was still somewhere in your chart. So having that will help you to connect into the other zodiacs that are important for you and get a better picture because it's not just so much of a one as it is kind of, an army of different planets and different astrological signs. There's a lot there. So today we're going to look at Taurus. I love how we go from Aries, the bull, the ram, to Taurus, Taurus the great, Taurus, the bull. It's fantastic. And of course, Taurus is a very fixed energy. Just like Aquarius, where they're not so flexible, they're pretty stuck in the mud. They get their hooves in the ground and they're like, no, this way. I'm interested to see what Taurus is going to bring because in a couple of weeks, we're going to be in Mercury retrograde. It's going to be interesting to see what Taurus does with these different energies as it's in its reign. Additionally, Gemini is going to be in a bit of the Mercury retrograde because it does tail off in Gemini. So I am so interested to see how this Mercury retrograde plays out. So for this reading, I brought in, and I love this deck. This is the Northern Animal Tarot. I absolutely love the imagery. It's beautiful. And most importantly, I love using this deck because of the texture to it. It's a linen texture. It's gorgeous. It was a Kickstarter. I do have it linked below. The lady who created it is actually from Edmonton, Alberta, and it's fantastic. And then I have paired it, of course, because we have that earth, the Sacred Earth Oracle. Again, the imagery is absolutely stunning. I always put links to the decks I use, so not only can you guys check them out for yourselves, but if it's something that speaks to you, you can add it to your collection as well. Some girls collect shoes. I collect decks. My husband is not thrilled with me. All right, let's get into Taurus. What can my friends expect during the reign of Taurus? One thing I can say about the Sacred Earth Oracle, they're very, very thick cards. I'm not sure what I think about thickness. Sometimes it's good because they don't bend too much, but shuffling them can be a bit of a challenge. All right. Space, the final frontier. I say this because, of course, we're coming into May, and May the 4th be with you is coming. So space. And I know that was a Star Trek reference and a Star Wars reference. So please don't spam me in the description box below saying, no, you're wrong. I embrace my inner geek. So more than just the space of Taurus in the sky, this is more that personal space, giving self time, obviously space, to kind of take that deep breath there's a lot going on. We're feeling overwhelmed and burdened. We need to have that kind of serene, that rest, that rejuvenation. I know we don't always feel like we're doing the right thing when we're like, okay, I'm going to take tonight and give myself some time. I want to do some meditation. I want to do some creative endeavors. I want to do something that's going to fill me. We kind of feel like we're taking away from others. Well, the more we're able to give back to self, the stronger we feel. That inner fire right in the belly, our solar plexus, starts to flame up and we're like, yeah, I can take on the world. And we have that very night energy of getting on our horse and slaying the beast and going. It does not need to be a long period of time, just a couple. Give it a little bit of time here and there. Will go a long way in rejuvenating us, especially if we've had a hard day. After any hard day, we're like, oh my God. Instead of going in and binging like Netflix with a glass of wine, try something different. Yes, binging Netflix with a glass of wine can be rejuvenating, but don't forget to switch up gears so that you don't become stagnant in the same. Because binging Netflix and with a glass of wine may feel nice, but it doesn't fill that fire. We want that fire to be filled. That's why meditation is so helpful. That's why taking time for self in that creative endeavors is also very here. I love this card. Specialization. Look at all that's going on in this card. It can feel overwhelming. And that's kind of where we're at, that overwhelming, oh my God, what do I do next? How do I go forward? That lost feeling. Now, specialization does not mean specializing in one thing. As you can see in this card, she has lots going on, as we all do. We all have lots on our plate. So instead of specializing in one aspect, and very few people will be just in a specialization of one thing. You find very few people who are solely like a shaman or solely a Reiki healer. We have a tendency to pull out different aspects. Even within the Reiki practice, it's no longer just a Japanese focused healing practice or energy work. Many times, and most Reiki masters work with the chakra system. Well, the chakra system was created and derived from India. So right there, you're already breaking that unique, very specialized energy and focus. So basically, Taurus is going to really support you in putting some of these pieces together and giving yourself that time to do it. So basically what Taurus wants to do is take what Capricorn and Capricorn and Aquarius started and taking that energy of Aries and pushing you forward with it. Let's look at this. Woo, I'm dropping cards. All right. What insight, wisdom, and guidance can we share with my friends during the reign of Taurus? I love the Taurus energy. We need this grounded energy right now. It's been a while since Capricorn that we've seen the grounded energy come forward. And that's normal, right? We rotate through the different elements. But usually after Aries, because it is a very bold energy, we want this grounded, calm. Very much picking up off of this specialization card. We have the Two of Wands. Such beautiful artwork. So the Two of Wands is about making decisions. As much as Aries or Taurus is going to support us in looking at that specialization and gaining that insight and understanding, it's up to us to do it. It's up to us to give ourselves that time, permission, and energy to start to focus in on those ahas. We need to make that decision, and we need to fuel that fire, that inner fire. Aries is very much connected into the wand suit because it is that passion base, that zhuzh that we need. Aries helps us to step in from the darkness to the light. His name means fire of God or light of God. And that's what we want. We want that light, that fire to fuel us. Now, I do have a meditation in my Archangel playlist with Archangel Uriel. And that's what we're doing, is really focusing in on that creative element, those kind of specializations. Be a fantastic meditation to take some time and focus on self-love. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. And here I like to give you guys the guidance, but also supports. So I've got 3 meditative playlists, a mindfulness playlist, and 4 healing playlists. These are all free, they're all guided, and they're here to support you. So added support and guidance, always appreciated. But that meditation with Archangel Uriel will definitely support you in getting some direction, helping you from that darkness to the light. The Empress. As someone who has seen bears just in and around her world, I love this Empress. She's the 3rd card in the major arcana. That grounded energy, very fertile energy. And of course, we have that creative element. So, things that stick out right away. We have the 2 of Wands and the 3rd card in the major arcana. Kind of working off that right-left. Very small, stable steps. We don't want leaps of faith. We want to build off what we currently have. If you're able to build off what you currently have, you're going to be more successful. You're going to be more stable. Taurus brings in a very fertile energy. Yes, that's great if you're trying to make babies, but it's also great if you're trying to create something. At the beginning of this reading, I said that creative energy is going to support you in fanning those flames and connecting into those ahas. The Empress, it's like I said, we've got a lot of creativity here. She's got both going on. She's got that the intuitional creativity, connection into the high vibration, and she has the creativity within. So important. She also connects in to that divine feminine, just as a secondary thought. In May, the beginning of May, still in the reign of Taurus, we do have Mother's Day, which we do have that very divine, mothery, feminine energy coming forward. We also have a full moon or a new moon coming in next week. Again, that divine feminine energy, that nurturing, caring energy needs to be directed back to self. Hello, the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. Lots of new beginnings, lots of new ahas that is going to be life-giving and enriching. Very much connected again to that specialization. There are so many aspects and pieces that we wanted to do, or when we have the time. Connecting into that air, it was first brought in on the Aquarius line, where we have those things on the back burner. Taking that time, giving ourselves that space to connect into them, to reach out and embrace them. Those holy grails are there for us. Now, we have this water here. We also have the water in the Empress. And interestingly enough, what is he looking out at? Anytime you see water in tarot or oracle, you're looking at connecting into that high vibrational, intuitional energy. It's going to be an important part, is following that intuitional energy. Many of us doubt our abilities to be empathic or intuitive. know everybody has that ability. It's innate in us. It's a skill. Most of us have shut that down. The younger generation has not, and more of us are working with and helping the younger generation to cultivate and embrace it. Know that you have it. No matter how traumatic that shutdown was, you have the ability to connect in. We all do. The more traumatic the shutdown, and we all know whether it was traumatic or not, the harder it may be. It may be something that you have to work at, healing and releasing so that you can. Now, when we shut down our abilities, the first one we shut down was our third eye and our ears. So clairvoyance and clairaudience. No, there are others, ones that we did not shut down, and we rely on them. The clairordinance, which is our clear thinking, those ahas that you're like, oh, that's brilliant. We do have a tendency to say, oh, well, everybody knows that, because we want to minimize our abilities and our connection. Our ego likes to step in. The other one is clairsentience. It's our clear feeling. Those feelings we get. I also like to call them my spidey senses. Those tingles. Ooh, danger. No, I won't go down that way. Ooh, weird. Don't like this person. Don't know why, but I'm going to stay away. We can work with those energies and help them to cultivate the ones that we've shut down more. Okay? Baby steps. But know that that's something that you can do. The five might come hard. It's hard to see on there. There we go. It's a yellow on white, but the 5 of swords, or the 5 of wands, sorry. That conflict, that emotion. Will your ego come in and tell you you're wrong? You're going to have that self-doubt, that negative self-talk. And when those start to come in, when we start to hear that community start to get really, really ugly with self, so we need to take that time, that space, and start to nurture us. I do have a meditation with Archangel Raguel where we balance thoughts and beliefs of self. That's a fantastic one when this community starts to come up. Know, though, when this starts to come in and we start to beat ourselves up, a great consequence of that is that people are going to treat us the same way. Why? They mirror the energy and the intent that we have on self back at us, which kind of amplifies and confirms that feeling. Okay? We tell ourselves we're not worthy, and what happens? People confirm that. No, they're reflecting the same energies. A lot of times it's an unconscious thing. We don't want that energy, so we naturally deflect it back from you, or deflect it from us back to you. So it's kind of an element that your ego uses to your advantage. When we start to feel this come in, if you're not able to meditate, I would suggest to ground yourself. There's lots of visualizations to ground self. The more grounded you are, the less likely that inner conflict's going to come up. Crystals that can be supportive are any red or black crystal. My favorite, of course, would be the tiger iron. I absolutely adore it. Why? It's red and black. It's red jasper, I think black tourmaline. Don't quote me on the crystal combination, but it works. Sometimes hard to get. I haven't seen it in a while, but it's still there and it can help with that. The more grounded we are, well, the less our ego is going to be able to take over. And the more we're staying up here, staying in that intuitive energy and staying in our frontal cortex, we're able to plan things out. Page of Wands. I love it. So, of course, pages are that fun, playful energy. They're full of excitement, joy, inquisical energy. They ask those hard questions. That passion, that inner flame. Yeah. We've got a lot of wands here, right? We started off with a wand. We've got 3 wands in play. And we've got a lot of orange and passion in the 2 cover cards. Know that inner flame, that sacred flame, that the solar plexus flame, the sacral sensuality is going to be very important over the Taurus reign. We need it to push and drive us. We need that connection, that fulfillment that those two chakras will provide. We have that connection, that intimacy. Don't forget the fun, okay? Don't forget to enjoy this time. Enjoy playing in these specializations, playing with some time for self, getting into that creative, messy play. Now, creativity does not always mean arts and crafts. It can if that's what you're into. I have clients and people I work with that their creative endeavors are things like welding, computer programming, architectural drawing, whatever it is. It's right for you. It's fantastic. Have some fun with it. Don't just go monotonous on this and go, okay, drone like, here we go. I'm going to give myself 15 minutes to do this. You're going to lose that connection, that fire, that fulfillment. We need that. Oh, yeah. The sun. The sun is shining. So the sun brightens up this reading. Not that it was a hard reading. Really, it's just encouraging you to take time for you to minimize that conflict within. So you minimize the conflict on the outside and embrace some of that inner stuff, those specializations, those things that really get us excited and joyous, and have some fun with them. The sun just reminds you to have that fun, that play, that love. No matter what challenges we're faced with, come at it from that high vibration of joy and happiness so that we're staying in that frontal cortex. Like I said earlier, Taurus is going to be entering into the Mercury retrograde in 2-ish weeks. So we're going to have that disconnection of communication. Staying in that joy and happiness, coming at things from a point of love and light rather than that fight will really help us in the long run. If we're starting to come at it from that conflict, you're going to have, well, obviously more problems, because with Mercury retrograde coming in, people are reactive. And if you are reactive, it just makes things go boom. So if you're coming to a situation and you have reactive people, if you're coming at it from a place of love and light, again, using that frontal cortex, it's Mercury retrograde, people are struggling. There's lots going on globally. People are struggling. So they may be having a bad day. I'm going to add in love and compassion, not reaction and biting their head off. Not only will you raise their vibration, you will show them through modeling how being in more control of you and sharing love rather than conflict will go a long way for everybody involved. When you do these larger group readings for a larger part of time, there's a lot of elements in play. And because we do have Mercury retrograde coming in, we know that it's going to be in play. This. The King of Wands is the last card. The King of Wands is, of course, in any suit, the king has the most control. He's the 14th card in that suit. He's in the control. He's got the most power. Here we have the wand. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 wands out of 7. The sun, come on, that's full of fire and warmth. And we also have this space where she looks like she's almost like on fire and glowing. I said it before, your solar plexus and sacral chakras, which are right near your tummy-ish area here, are going to be so important. Letting that sensual, creative energy push you. That's really what Taurus is encouraging you to do. Yes, stay grounded. Taurus, like I said at the beginning, literally drives its hooves in and is like, nope, I'm an immovable force. I'm doing it my way. We need that energy to do it our way. Add in that passion, fulfillment, the creativity, so that we get the most out of right here and right now. It amplifies what's going right, which raises our vibration because we're going to feel amazing and things are going to go right. So you're going to be like, yeah, let's keep going, rather than getting stuck in the challenge. No, it's going to be there. Keep the sun shining. I know it may not figuratively be out there. Right now I'm still in a snowstorm. But that sun, that joy, and that happiness is still here. I can still embrace it. It's right there. Using up here to kind of plan forward. Kings, especially the King of Wands, he's no one's fool. It's hard to see in this card, but the original deck that Pamela Coleman Smith drew, instead of lounging in his chair and his throne like, yes, I own this, he's kind of ready. He's at the ready. He sits forward. He's ready for that next adventure, that next stage. We too need to have that enthusiasm, that excitement to going forward. That fear, that pain will only hold us back. It's up to us. We've got lots of free will here, lots of choice. Taurus is only encouraging us to do this. Know that if we decide not to engage in any of this, if we are stuck in and put our head in the sand and stay in this Five of Wands, you will get the Tower. It's not a maybe. Anytime we choose stagnation and stuckness, and lack of choice, guys, is a stuckness. We started off with choice. We need to make these choices for our greater good. So lack of choice is a choice. And that stuckness, well, that's when the lightning comes in and zaps you in the butt to get you propelling forward. So we don't want to add to that. We want to add to the joy. We want to add to the fertility and the creativity. Additionally, we do have a very predominant king and the empress. That balance is going to be important. We don't want to just drop everything. I'm going to just be creative for the next month. Sure, you want to add those elements in, but we need to make sure that we are stable. This is Taurus we're looking at. So making sure that the expectations and demands of our everyday are met. Yes, may feel like we're adding in another ball, but just like this specialization, there's a lot going on. The more grounded we are, the more stable we are, the stronger we're feeling on the inside, the more balls we're able to juggle. And we do it with ease because we're grounded and stable. We're like, yeah, whatever, bring it on. I got this. Because I feel good. Body, mind, and soul. Okay. So we're going to end off. I'm going to drop an entire deck of cards on the floor. I always like to end off on any further insight, wisdom, and guidance that we can share with my friends so that they can engage and embrace the energies of Taurus. I love how Taurus is a very different entity to Aries. We go from the bull to we go from the ram to the bull. Such a different energy. Rediscovery. This is very much connected into the page card. You can see that she's got, this is kind of the symbol for the goddess. We've got the moon with that very, I think it's Aztecian goddess where she's very voluptuous. That inner goddess and the child. We have both of them, no matter what gender we are. We all have that masculine and feminine within us, no matter what we identify with. We also have that inner child. Allowing them out to play and knowing that we are a divine being. We may not like where we're at, but we have the ability to make the changes and shifts that we need to get to where we want to be, to get to what's going to help us, to make us feel better. So that rediscovery is going to be very prevalent during Taurus. Revision. Lots of we've got rediscovery and revision, we're able to change and shift us to something that is more conducive to what we want to be. This time is for us, and it's the decisions we made that's going to make that change and that shift. And again, I remind you, this is small baby steps. The first part, well, actually, we have 1, 2, 3 here. So we've got those very baby steps. Stretch. I love this. Does it mean physical stretching? Sure. Things like yoga, qigong, tai chi, would they help? Absolutely. Why? Because they ground you. They make you feel physically better. If you're like me and I'm not really that flexible, I'm not bendy, it's okay. We can stretch in other ways. More importantly, we're going to have that box that our ego put us in. It seems to be so small and tight. The more we make decisions and embrace that fertility and that creativity and that fun and joy, we start to push that box out. The more we do it, just like when you're doing yoga and tai chi and qigong, the stretchier you get and the bigger the box goes. Taurus is really helping us expand who we are and what we are. I love it. Alchemy. Of course, that's the process of changing one thing into another. So are we going to be changing self? Not really. We're just going to be rediscovering aspects of self that are important. We will be, however, changing low vibrational stuck gunkiness, or stunk, if you want to combine the two, gunkiness that we have into something high vibrational, something that's going to support us and be meaningful. The aggression, the fear, the pain doesn't help us. However, if we take the time, we ground ourselves, we engage in energies that are life-giving, that Holy Grail, we transmute that low vibrational gunkiness to something that is going to be joyous and happy. The difference between the vibrations, the joyous, happy events in our life, they fulfill us. They help with that inner flame. The stuff that's hard sits with us. Well, we can't use it. It's an energy that our body can't process. It can't use to support. It causes us to get heavier and heavier. We need to transmute it and release it so that we have more space within ourselves. Think of it as having a cup within ourselves. We can only do and cope with so much. If we dig down, like in a fishbowl, and pull out the gunk and the yuck that's built up at the bottom, we give ourselves more space, more time. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this. Oh, I'm sorry, Sid, I missed your thing. I don't see anybody on. I do apologize. If I do miss you guys on the side, just give me a minute. I'm just focused in on what's being shared. I do my best to connect in with those who are with me at the end of the reading. But I do want to thank everybody for joining me and all that who have joined me for this reading. And I hope that you enjoyed what Taurus wanted to share with you. I know that it's a lot. There's going to be a lot going on in Taurus. Now, if you did like this video, give me a thumbs up. It does help people find me on the sea of YouTube, which actually helps you guys out because it starts to raise people's vibration. They get the tools and support they need. And additionally, because there are lots of tools and supports, I would encourage you guys to subscribe and hit the bell so that you guys don't miss out. I'm live periodically throughout the week, and I'm live usually on Fridays, and I also post on Tuesdays. Usually 2 to 3 times a week I'm on here. You don't want to miss any of it. So if you subscribe and hit the bell, you're not going to. So I want to thank you guys so very much. And I hope that you guys have an amazing Taurus. And again, for all my Taurians, happy birthday. Until tomorrow, my friends.